Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome. Hope you liked the intro music. Hope it was pleasant. Welcome to episode 2 of the Eminem podcast. I'm here once again with Marcus, the creator of this channel.
Oh, hell yeah.
But not the brain behind it. Anyways. So today on episode 2, we're going to talk about a bunch of different things. We're going to talk about the news. And a bunch of different stuff about what's happening in the world. We're going to talk about scary things. We're going to do a scary thing tag. There's a lot of T's. So, basically, that's the show for today. I just thought we would introduce ourselves once again. To those of you who haven't heard episode 1. My name is Michael. And I am one of the people here, or one of them here on the Eminem podcast. And, I have a YouTube channel where I make comedy videos and reviews and rants and all kinds of different stuff. You never know what I'll put out. And Marcus and I run this channel, I suppose you could say. We make these videos together here on Marcus's channel. And yeah, I've been making YouTube videos for over 3 years. And I'm going to pass on the word to Marcus.
Well, yes, as Michael just mentioned, I am Marcus, and I'm a newcomer to YouTube, which means I haven't done so much YouTube, so I don't have the biggest experiences of YouTube, but luckily I have Michael to show me how this works. Yeah.
That's very kind words. Thank you, Marcus. Anyway, so hope you will enjoy this podcast. We're going to take a little quick break. And the reason why we take breaks during this podcast is because we want to feel like this is a real radio show. So we'll be more cool, right? Anyways, we're going to take a short music break and then we're going to return. Alright, welcome back after the music break. Lovely music, isn't it, Marcus? It's lovely music.
It is a lovely, yeah.
You know what the best part about that music is? It's license free. It is copyright free. That is the best part. Anyway, so welcome back to the show. It's about that time of the show for the news segment. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff happening out in the world. First off, I think we should take on the biggest thing going on right now. That we didn't talk about in our last podcast, ISIS. And I really don't have much idea of what that is, but I feel like Marcus knows a lot about it. So Marcus, I'm going to give on the word to you, and you can explain what exactly ISIS is.
Well, of what I know ISIS is this organization in Islam. It's an Islam organization, which fights for the Islamic rights, I think it is. And, but in my eyes, it's kind of like terrorists, kinda, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of
views on this.
Yeah, there's a lot of different opinions about this, but they do seem to do some pretty heavy stuff in terms of terrorist stuff. Which brings me on to the next news thing I want to talk about, which is the news that 3 British teens were detained in Istanbul because they were trying to join ISIS. They have been brought back to the UK, but they were detained over in Istanbul. It was 2 17-year-old boys traveling with a 19-year-old boy. They tried to join this group. They were not stopped at any point, which is what there's a lot of controversy about. They should have been stopped along the way because they were so young. And it shocks me how young people want to be a part of something like this, especially if they do terror things and, want to destroy the Western world. I mean, it shocks me that young teens like that want to be part of that instead of getting an education, instead of doing all that normal, stuff you do in that age. So that scares me a lot. I mean, I don't know. What do you think about it, Marcus?
Well, yes, it's also I just very scared of this. I mean, how can they even think about joining such a group that does such terrible things? I mean, I just can't handle it. I mean, it's terrible.
I think we're going to drop the bomb and say, yes, they are terrorists. From what I've heard on the news, they are definitely terrorists. Which brings me on to another thing about the news I just want to mention really quickly, is how I think that the news are a lot of bullshit, to be honest with you, because if you think about it, it's only the sad, depressing, violent stuff that they actually bring news about. You never hear about the good things. You never hear about, good Samaritans. You never hear about people doing good things and being good people, like most people are. You only hear about the bad stuff, and especially with people from Islam, they get a bad reputation, especially in the Middle Eastern countries. They get a bad name because of the news that make them out to be terrorists. And I just want to say about that it's over-exaggerating a lot of things on the news. I just want you to know that. It's reality TV. Think of Jersey Shore, think of all these different things, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It's exactly the same. It is reality TV made to get hits, made to get people to watch. It's not made to bring you the actual news, it's made to get people to watch. So that's why they talk so much about ISIS and all these things, and it worries me because they're building, if you ever thought about it, we're actually building our lives out of fear, especially from the news, but also just in general. I mean, we go to college, me and Marcus and I, and we go to college, and they say to us, that we got to go to college, we got to do all these things, because if we don't, we won't be able to get a job once we're on the other side, And it's kind of that fear of not getting a job, it's kind of that fear of not getting the education that we want, that make us actually go through college, So I don't know, I've just been thinking about a lot that we build our lives on fear. Also, when you think about, how many rules and things there are, laws and whatnot, that forbid you to do different things, it's all based on fear, I don't know. What do you have to say about that, Mark?
I mean, you're probably right, because, we all want this education to get this job, the dream job of ours. Like Michael here, he wants to do something with films, isn't it?
A TV director.
Yeah. And they say that you need to have this media, what can you call it? Media...
I don't know.
No, but you have to do something with media in college to get onto the next level of this education. But that's just stupid. I think it's stupid.
Yeah, we're building our society on fear. For example, my friend Alex, he's 17, he's also going through college. He wants to be a doctor. Not because he's that interested in it, I suppose he does want to be a doctor, but more because he wants financial security, and he wants to be able to get a job. And there's not that many doctors, there's always need for doctors. So that's also the kind of fear that he'll never be successful in life if he doesn't choose an education that is so long and so hard, because then he doesn't think he'll get a job on the other side. And that's kind of ridiculous, especially if you don't want to do something 100%. I don't think you should do it just because people try to scare you into it, I don't know. Anyway, so that was food for thought. The last thing about the whole news segment I want to talk about is BuzzFeed. Now, Marcus, do you know what BuzzFeed is?
Not at all.
And I am about to ruin your life because I'm going to tell you. It's that horrible. It's that horrible. I'm not even... It's this website that also have like a bajillion YouTube channels. And basically, here's my opinion. It's a bunch of feminist a-holes who basically make all these videos about women should be more empowering, blah, blah, blah. First world freaking problems. And they try to be so relatable to you that it is unbelievable. They will make videos about, what it's like when Bae doesn't text you first. All these different so first world problems, and all these different hashtag relatable things, like you see on your Facebook newsfeed. I'm sure you see a bunch of different posts about relatable stuff, like the 3 worst things that could happen, and it's no Wi-Fi, and it's like all these first world problems. And that's basically what BuzzFeed does, just with videos. And it is a bunch of really fucked up people, is my opinion, because they make these feminist videos. I think they have an entire feminist channel called BuzzFeed Violet, and I saw a video on that about why the Doctor in Doctor Who should be a female, and it was all these really feminist reasons for it. Women should be more empowering, blah blah blah. Anyway, so they just do this feminist crap, and I just wanted to talk about this because it's so fucked up to me that they are allowed to keep going. Because why do people watch it? I don't understand. Why do people watch it? They have a channel called BuzzFeed Video where they actually put out, well-performed sketches and videos in general that were well-performed, well-written and whatnot. And that's great. But the other channels, the feminist crap and all that, I just don't understand it. I just don't understand. Why would people watch this? I don't know. What do you think about it, Marcus?
No idea. I think it's stupid that these feminists say, women should get more power. Do you even know how much power you actually have? At my home, don't say this to my mom, she will get fucking mad at me, but she actually controls everything in the house. Probably everything. And that's also is to my neighbor. His mom is probably also doing, ruling the house. Here in Denmark, women have so much power over men. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Sorry.
If I may break in, Marcus.
You may.
I think what Marcus is trying to say is that in the Western world, the first world countries, women have already won. And they're basically just kicking someone who's already on the ground, basically.
Yep.
That's a Danish saying. Because they already have won. What are they fighting for, in the first world countries? Because if you look at Islamic women, for example, who have to wear these, big as, full suits that are just black so that you can't see anything but their eyes, you understand that there are much more serious problems at hand than just someone, the classic gender roles. There are so much more that are wrong in this world, feminist-wise. Anyway, so a lot of feminists say that they are just fighting for equality. Well, that's why I don't understand why it's called feminism. Understand the word feminism. They're trying to fight for women's justice to be as equal as men.
Which they are
in most first world countries. But do they fight for men's right to be equal as well? There's still the stereotypical gender roles. Like, as a man, you have to pay on dates. There's all these different,
Also, when you are actually a man in the daycare, you can't be alone with the kids. It's
ridiculous. It's completely fucking ridiculous. Anyway, that was just train of thought. BuzzFeed, I think they're fucking horrible.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why they have so much power over the internet, but there you go. I just don't want you to think, when you watch feminist BuzzFeed videos, that men are all like that. We are not like that. I know Marcus has said some very, anti-feminist sayings.
But you shall know that I'm actually supporting most women. Okay, I'm not like some douche who is saying men is better than women. I'm not saying that. Okay, just so we get that straight.
All we're trying to say is there are also organizations for men's, equal rights. You know what I mean? For men to be able to step out of these gender roles, of having to ask the girl out and having to propose and having to, pay for the wedding or whatever, and having to pay on dates and all these different things and spoil the girl on Valentine's Day and all these traditional gender things. There are also organizations working towards getting men out of this. And I just think if you're going to be a feminist, support men's organizations as well. I fully support women's organizations, that fight for women's equality, especially in
Me too.
Especially in third world countries, but just not the whole only women thing. We're equal, man. We're just people. No race is better than the other,
Actually, that's not completely true.
Shh, Marcus, don't want to get into that debate.
No, it's for the women, actually. That's
all right. Well, then it's okay. Go on, Onision. Just go on.
It's not because that I say that the women are better than the men, because I mean we're, as Michael said, we're equally better. Okay, because it's just that with we men, we say when you women you give birth and all that kind of shit, we say it's nothing. Okay, I mean, how stupid can you actually get when you say that? I mean, have you seen what they need to press out of their thing? Okay, I mean, yeah, that's just so I got that straight. Oh yeah, you bitch. I just want to show that I'm not an anti-feminist. Okay,
I think we need to wrap this up, Marcus. Anyways, this is what we had to say about the world. Please do not hate us. You're welcome to debate us in the comments, as millions of people have already done. Right? Anyways,
I'm actually
the ironic thing. Anyway, so we're gonna take a little break once again. We've been ranting on. We're gonna take a little music break, and then we're gonna return with the tag challenge thingamajig. Keep watching, keep listening. I shouldn't say keep watching. Keep listening.
Yeah, that sounds better.
We'll take a break. Hello, welcome back after the break. It's about that time of the show where we're going to do the tag challenge of the month. And today, we're going to do the scariest thing tag, where I'm basically going to ask Marcus 7 things about things that have scared him or whatnot. And I think it's going to be interesting because Marcus is, he doesn't like horror movies, and he's, he's very, sensitive around that topic. So I think it's going to be interesting. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. First question, what's the scariest real-life experience you've ever had?
Well, I actually think it was when I was about 12, when I had these kind of angry issues where I could totally lose myself to insanity, and I got totally violent on everyone around me. But one time it was actually very, very bad. My dad had done something, I can't remember what it was, but he was down in a living room, and I got to the kitchen, and actually took a very sharp kitchen knife and threatened my dad with it. But luckily, after 3 seconds, I actually come back to myself and put the knife back, and then actually I was so scared of myself that I actually just run up to my room and laid under my bed and then just began to cry because I was so scared. So yeah, that's probably it.
So I remember you telling me about this. This is very frightening to hear. But I suppose you mean, I think what Marcus means is that he had a blackout where he wasn't aware of what he was doing, and then he kind of came to his senses after picking up the knife, and then realized what the hell he was doing.
Yeah,
that correctly understood.
Yeah.
All right. Wow, Marcus, we're starting off rough. It's going deep today.
Yeah.
We've talked about feminism, and now we're on the verge of insanity. That's amazing.
But I'm not insane.
He's not insane. We all have mental breakdowns. Anyway, so let's go on to question number 2. What's the scariest paranormal experience you've ever had?
Ooh, that actually wasn't that long time ago. It was a couple of months back, actually. I was down here in my basement and saw some movies, and suddenly we actually have a kind of hobby room, I guess you would call it, a workshop, whatever. There is a door into that just beside my room, actually, and it was 2 o'clock, and suddenly I just heard the door just opened so violent, and I actually got so scared that I grabbed my sword and got out of my room, and then I just saw that our door into the workshop, or what you want to call it, was actually opened, and I can still I I recognize every time that door handle gets opened, and it was that door, and it wasn't just something I heard. And the next day, I asked my parents and grandparents if they were down in my basement to do anything, and no one was actually down in the basement to do anything at all.
That is some real horror story shit right there. So it was 2 a.m. in the night, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, Marcus, that's quite of a story. We'll make a horror movie about that.
Oh,
Someone call Stephen King. Anyway, so next question, Marcus. This is going really well. Next question: have you ever known anyone convicted of a violent crime?
Maybe me, I think, because I strangled a person like 3 times now, actually, because I got so pissed off at him, these anger issues, and yeah. But I don't know if that counts.
You weren't convicted of it, right?
So then, actually, no, I don't know anyone.
Wow, Marcus, you're quite of a violent guy.
I can be, sorry. But I've gotten these things under control.
Yeah, alright. Well, it's a good thing we don't know any serial killers, because that would have been scary. Anyway, so let's move on to the next question. Are you afraid of the dark? Why or why not?
I'm actually not scared of the dark, because I actually kind of like the dark. It can kind of make me feel safe, if you can say that, because
I feel you.
The light can sometimes be too much to my eyes. Then I actually like to get into the dark, and I actually think sometimes I can see better in the dark than I can in the light. So that's why I'm not afraid of the dark.
I feel that way too. Because you just have to think about it. When it's that dark, just imagine it's the same thing when you lay down to go to sleep and you close your eyes. It's exactly the same thing. So why be afraid of that? You're not afraid of closing your eyes, are you? Anyways, I think if you believe in paranormal stuff like that, you might be afraid of the dark.
Yeah.
But sane people are not. Anyways, so that was heavy. Anyways, number 5. Does your hometown have any scary stories or legends?
Actually, yes, and Michael knows it too. We have this school where we youngsters come to and just having some fun. We make movies there and some kind of shit.
Oh yeah.
And before it actually was this club, or what you want to call it, it was a girls' school where
girls' home, I must add, where they also lived.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of cool.
Just so you get the right.
Yeah, and then now it's this, club thing, as I already have told you, and many actually believed, or believe now, that it is haunted by these little girls who was actually they were abused very much, actually,
yeah.
And kind of mentally tortured.
Yeah.
So many think that their souls still is in the building.
It was basically this home for girls that were, unable to behave with their parents, or girls who were that poor that their parents couldn't afford to feed them. This was, many years ago, like 100 years or whatever ago. And so they were sent to this home to be straightened up, basically. It was girls with anger issues. It was girls with manner issues, and behavior issues. And instead of getting mental guidance or mental help, as they would have done today, possibly, they instead got beaten and got, mentally abused and physically abused.
Yeah.
In order to get better manners and whatnot. So that's kind of spooky, but there you go.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the next question. What is your favorite urban legend?
What is my favorite urban legend? I don't know many. I don't know why I actually don't. But I actually don't think that I know one, actually.
What about the Bloody Mary thing?
Bloody Mary?
There's an urban legend about if you, get into the bathroom and you say Bloody Mary to the mirror 3 times, a girl shows up in the mirror. Shows up and you see her in the mirror to kill you.
No, I actually haven't heard of that one, but I have heard of the South Park version with Biggie Smalls. So that's probably my favorite because it comes from South Park. So why not? Why not take that one?
There's a lot of really great urban legends. I like The Shining. That's not a real urban legend, but I like the whole story about you're going up to keep watch on a house and then it makes you insane. I don't know.
Actually, now I actually remember one urban legend, Slender Man.
Oh, that's
and actually, not all knows the real story about Slender Man. The real story is actually fucking scary as shit. It is this guy, as you know, in the woods, who actually takes over kids instead of ripping off their heads. He hypnotizes them, I actually kind of think it is, and then make them go home and kill their parents.
Wow.
That's
scary.
Yeah.
But when you know the truth that it was all made up at a Photoshop convention, then you're kind of taking up the buzz. Alright, let's hop on to the last question of this tag game. What is your scariest nightmare? I'm going to correct that grammar and say, what was your scariest nightmare? What is the scariest nightmare you've had? You can't say, what is your scariest nightmare?
Because I don't have it right now.
Oh my god. Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
Well, it's some times ago. I actually dreamt I was streaming and it was just black, and then suddenly my face appeared up with this devil look. I had horns and really a scary look because I can be kind of mental ill, I think, because in my head I also think there's this one side, the good side, and the evil side, and then I always just collaborate these to whatever the situation is, and then I'm always scared that my evil side shall take over my good side, which is kind of a nightmare, I think. So yeah,
I've had kind of a Freddy Krueger-like nightmare. That was scary. Anyways, that was the tag game. We'll be back right after a short break. And please keep listening. And yeah, let's take a musical break. Alright, hello, welcome back after the break. We're gonna get going. This is the end of the podcast. It's so sad, man. It's so sad. We're gonna return back here in a month's time. We're trying to make this monthly thing, but we have kind of gone a couple of weeks over this time because we are insanely busy with school and everything. And I also have a YouTube channel to keep going. I actually have 3 to keep going. So we're really busy people, but we'll try to make it once a month. We also have a new exciting series that we'll tell you much more about in, let's say, the next podcast episode. A new exciting series where Marcus is gonna do a bunch of really cool stuff. So, that was all for this time. Do you have anything to add here at the end?
Just be sure to be updated with my channel. So subscribe and like and
subscribe. Subscribe to Michael. Subscribe.
No, and subscribe to Michael and
subscribe.
And watch the next podcast, which is coming out in about a month, as Michael just mentioned.
Yep.
And if you think there's anything we need to add, then write it down in the comments below. Okay?
We're always open to both constructive criticism and direct hate because it's hilarious. If you would like to send us some hate, you can do that too, because we're all fine with it. Because you know what we're gonna do. If you want attention and you're a troll or a hate or whatever, we're gonna read your hate comments on the show if you write some.
Yeah, it doesn't
and
matter.
Also your positive comments. It doesn't really matter. So write some comments, give us your feedback, and we will see you next month. Thank you so much for watching.
See ya, man.
Goodbye.